Hey, here are 5 stupid things I've noticed about Indiana Jones. He's a shitty archaeologist. By modern standards, Indy seems more like a treasure hunter from a pulp magazine than an archaeologist, but that's not really fair. The scientific ethos of modern archaeology wasn't quite in place in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s when the Indy films take place, and plus, he's an adventure character, not a real-life antiquities scholar. The reason I say he's a shitty archaeologist is much more practical. He never actually gets to keep the artifacts that he chases after. Ark of the Covenant, confiscated by the government. Sankara stones, either lost or returned to the villagers. The Holy Grail, lost in the bowels of the earth. The Crystal Skull, returned to the extra-dimensional alien who lost it. It just seems kind of pointless to spend your whole life chasing after these priceless relics that you always seem to lose or give away, especially when the chase is so hazardous to life and limb. It's a good thing for Indy that he's the world's greatest everyman. Here's what a great actor Harrison Ford is. He has convinced most of us that Indiana Jones is just an average type of guy, no special abilities, who gets by on his wits and a bit of good luck. I think, though, if you watch the Indy films and really pay attention to what he actually does, you'll agree with me that nothing could be further from the truth. Indiana Jones is not an everyman. He is, in fact, an extremely above average individual who is really good at just about everything he does. Let's look at the facts. He's movie star handsome, he's a superb athlete in fantastic shape, he's great with a bullwhip, he's an excellent shot with a gun, he's multilingual, he has an impressive body of knowledge about multiple ancient cultures, he's a quick thinker who remains relatively clear-headed even when faced with urgent life or death situations. Now, I don't know how you stack up, but after movie star handsome, that doesn't sound like me at all. He was apparently the Forrest Gump of the early 20th century. As if Indy's life wasn't interesting enough from what we saw of it in his cinematic adventures, the TV series, The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, also informs us that Indy has crossed paths with the likes of Lawrence of Arabia, Winston Churchill, Pablo Picasso, Charles de Gaulle, and the Red Baron, to name only a few. It's as if George Lucas watched that scene from Last Crusade where Indy accidentally gets the autograph from Adolf Hitler and thought to himself, what if I did an entire series that was just that scene over and over and over again? And then he fluffed his pillows stuffed with shredded $100 bills, rolled over, and went back to sleep. That's how I always pictured it. Wait, why is he watching the movie while he's in bed? He doesn't know when to quit. Or more precisely, his creators don't know when to quit. I'm not a hater of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I don't think it was bad enough to justify even a tenth of the nerd rage that engulfed it after it opened in 2008. I actually kind of liked it, though I do think it is by far the least of the Indy films, and it really has no reason to exist beyond the greed of the studio and the self-indulgence and the greed of the filmmakers. But the shortcomings of a belated and superfluous sequel pale in comparison to this last stupid thing about Indiana Jones. He's a rapist. And possibly a pedophile. Remember the scene in Raiders when Marion implies that Indy took advantage of her when she was young and in love with him, and Indy not only tacitly admits it, but throws it back at her, saying, "You knew what you were doing." Well, in the novelization of Raiders, Marions' age when her affair with Indy began is given as 14, with Indy being 10 years her senior. And long-standing Indy lore has it that George Lucas originally wanted Marions' age to have been even younger, say 11 or 12, when she and Indy began their shocking forbidden rape-mance. Now, this is very creepy and discomforting, but it does at least explain the original title of the second film in the Indy franchise, Poor Short Round. I'm glad they changed it. The hardest part is only picking 5. Catch you next time.